Nicole, so if you want to share a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself, and share a little bit of your story, that'd be awesome.
Sounds great. Hi, everyone. My name is Nicole Scott. I am a holistic nutritionist, been a nutritionist for over 12 years now. I'm a single mom with 2 teenage girls, and I live in Uxbridge. Product story is that I was introduced to Juice Plus by my mother. She called me on the phone and, was kind of like one of those crazy people. I don't know if you've ever had a person on the other end, and you're like, yeah, and you're not really listening to them. So she scared me off immediately, because she was over the top, and I declined her for probably 4 months, and there's some training in here, because what's important to know is that she, never give up on somebody. It just wasn't the right timing for me, because I never saw a need, but it was perfect timing when she called me 4 months in, and I had just come off of having 2 young kids sick for 2 weeks. And so she caught me at a vulnerable moment when I was exhausted and desperate. And so I kind of perked up a bit, and, she made a comment, "Who's going to come see you as a nutritionist if you can't even get your own kids healthy?" And it hurt, and sometimes the truth hurts. And reluctantly and almost resentfully, I don't even know if that's a word, said, "Fine, I'll try this stuff for 4 months." But me being the skeptic and thinking I really didn't need these capsules, and my kids didn't really need these capsules, I called my best friend Anita, who did live blood analysis at the time, and I asked her to take our blood before we put the capsules in our body, because I really wanted to see if the stuff worked. I know at the time it had 15 research papers, and that kind of caught my attention. But it was at 4 months in, when I went back to get the results, that I had my aha moment, where she said, "Nicole, this stuff is actually working." She explained what was happening to my blood, and that was the only thing I was doing differently, was adding Juice Plus. And I'd actually stopped my multivitamin because we ran out, and I never replaced it. And so we were on a multi practically that whole 4 months. The changes that happened in our body, I would say about 2 weeks in, my energy level started to go up. So instead of crashing at 8 o'clock at night, I was getting 2 to 3 extra hours a night. And Jenny, I know you have a very similar story with energy, and we can relate to that, because when you give a mommy her energy back and a few extra hours in a day, you start to feel the light at the end of the tunnel, that there's hope that you can get through these young years with kids. And so I started to do things that I liked again, reading, working out, just getting out maybe, for a late tea with a friend, and I hadn't done that in years. So it was really just me getting my life back a little bit, which was really cool. About 4 months in, what happened is my best friend said, "Nicole, I recommend you go and get Ella's allergies," because we were dealing with about 75 food allergies and sensitivities that Ella had since she was 9 months old. And so that's why I went back to nutritional school. I just wanted to help her. And 2 years of learning in school, I made very little inroads. And so when I went back to get her allergy tested after 4 months on Juice Plus, her allergies had come down in half. And there was another aha moment. I was like, I guess her body really did need Juice Plus, and it was the tool and the catalyst that she needed for her body to start heal and rebalance. And in a year, her allergies were gone. And so our life got back to normal. And so I can't say that Juice Plus cured her, but we can say that it definitely was a tool that enabled her body to do what it needed to do. And I'm grateful every day that my mom never gave up on me. From a business standpoint, didn't want the business, not interested in the business. I already had my nutritional practice. My husband worked a corporate job. He worked 80 hours a week. I never saw him. I was practically a single mom back then. But it was in that moment where my friend who did live blood analysis said, "How much are you making a month?" This was about 4 months in. And I said, "Well, I just have customers. I don't even have any reps. And I'm making about $500. And she just went, "You're making an extra $500 by just sharing Juice Plus?" And I went, "Yeah." And she goes, "I could sure use $500 because I don't really have any extra fun mommy money at the end of the month." and I could sure use that. So she actually became my first rep. Didn't know what I was doing. Did everything wrong in the beginning. So if anybody's out there that's freaking out that you have to be perfect in this business, please get rid of that story. Because I was so not perfect. I'm still not perfect today. But I do my best to be authentic and real, and just help people along the way and show them the plan in the marketing. So I'm 12 years in. I'm getting close to 100 club, which is great. As I say, I like to say I'm kissing 100 club. I'm recognized right now. Our team is a 75 club. Our team is called Team B. Be the change you wish to see in the world. And we're just out there playing from the heart, sharing our story, building businesses, helping a lot of people, and having a lot of fun. So I'm grateful every day for this business, because it's to the point now where I really feel like I work on average a part-time job, but I don't really call it a job, a part-time passion. I'm raising my kids with the help of my ex, which we get along great. And I'm just really grateful that the skill set that I developed through this business allowed me to really go through my divorce in a very elegant and financial stability. And I'm grateful every day that that showed up for our lives. So it definitely put me on a different path. I don't do nutrition anymore. Juice Plus is my full-time income, and I love it. So I'll end it there. That's my product. That's my business story. And if you want to ask me any questions, Jen.
Yeah, absolutely. So you had touched on the club level that you're at, which is the second highest club level that we have in our business. So congratulations. It's absolutely amazing. And what would you say contributes to you being able to support? Because when you have a team that large, it's hard for you as one person to support everyone by yourself. So what is working in your team to help support newcomers, people that are working their business, keeping other team that are still engaged? What are you guys doing in your team that's creating that duplication?
Yeah, it's a great question. There's a few things I would say is we got pretty serious about 3 years ago to do consistent events and activities. So we also built a website around it. So teambethechange.com kind of came into our life. And we tried to put kind of the most important tools and information that we found as leaders on one site to kind of bring our team to one hub. We've been building belief for a long time by doing calls very similar to this, Jenny, which is interview style. So as you have a new team member and maybe prospects, that every week our team gets to be tapped into another story to build belief. I would say that the live events do really well. We've been doing consistent live events, I would say, between every 4 to 6 weeks. We have the energy of our team, and we're always inviting anybody in sidelines to join us when we have our events. It's just that consistent activity, I would say, and really just holding people's hands out of the gate, showing them how to do that live Facebook event, showing them how to do a salad in a jar party so that they've done it once and they have the belief that they can do it, and then duplicate that with their team. So showing them once how to do it instead of just say, go do it. Because when you say just go do it, they don't know what to go do.
Yeah.
We're visual. Yeah. So
you guys are we're huge proponents of the Transform 30 program that Mitra had come out with. And then she teamed up with Jake and they came out with the Shred 10. So what would you say is what's working with how your team does the Shred 10?
Yeah, we encourage people to do once a month a Shred 10 for themselves. Right now we're encouraging to have kind of a consistency by doing like the first Monday of every month for 10 days. So once they complete it, that they have 3 weeks to promote the next one. And for those people that were in that 10-day shred, if they've got success, that they can start to share that with other people in their community to bring them on to the next one. Right. Out of the gates, I would say that typically when I'm working with, I would say that most of my new frontline distributors are all coming from the shred.
Right.
So I get them.
How do you do that conversion when you have that customer? So if I was a customer, if we were either friends or you met me at a grocery store or you're sending me a Facebook message, how would you engage me and what would you send me to get me onto that program?
Well, typically, obviously I use my voice. I use my voice a lot. So I would engage in a conversation to first find out what your need would be from a health standpoint. So that I would try to find your pain right away. So if your pain was more energy, if your pain was weight loss, if your pain was not sleeping, I always lead it into the Shred 10. So it doesn't matter what their pain is, Shred 10 is always going to be a tool for them to take their health to the next level. So once I find that, then what I do is I just share my Shred 10 story and I visually show them what I look like before and after. So I really believe that we all need to have our Shred story and we need to have a picture or a story around it because our stories sell. So I always lead with my own story, my own personal story. And depending on what their story is, I customize what video I might send. So if it is somebody that needs to lose a lot of weight, I might find another couple more pictures of people like Michelle Fiocco that lost 30 pounds and kept it off. I try to relate to their pain and find a story or two that will relate to their pain, instead of just doing something generic. So I try to customize it. And then from there, I let them know the next date. I let them know the support. And then next thing you know, they want the price. And then we set them up with their order. I get them on the page at least a week before the Shred 10. I get them watching videos. I get them, and then from there, when I support them, I'm supporting them daily in a private Facebook Messenger group. But I do get their permission. I do ask them first, what type of person are you when it comes to accountability? And so, like, I had one gal out of BC last month when I asked her, she goes, Nicole, you know me from university. I'm motivated. I'm good. I'll do my own thing, and I'll check in with you when I want to. 30 days goes by and she sends me literally day by day her charting and how much weight it was so cute. Like, she was good. I'm like, yeah, that's Laura. And then I'll have other people that will want to talk to me like 3 times a day. They'll take pictures of product. Is this Shred 10 friendly? What recipe should I use for? And so it's great. So I just, again, meet people where they're at and develop a relationship through that. And then once they get the results, I get them really excited and say, oh my gosh, I bet you know other people in your community that could sure feel, want to feel how you feel. And then I just plant the seed with the business.
Okay.
I just say, you know what a lot of people are doing. I find the people that are excited like you are, want to go on to the next Shred next month with me. They want to learn how that they can pay for the cost. That's how I started in the business. And then I'll say, you know, would you like to learn how you can make an extra $600 to $700 in the next 30 days with our fast track program? And I would say 99% of the people say yes. And then I book a private 3-way or just me and the other person, because obviously I'm very capable of our marketing. But if you're new, you want to make sure you grab your upline to have that 3-way conversation so that you feel that you can get the training and the duplication to have those conversations. Because when you're first new, those conversations can be a little bit weird, awkward, uncomfortable. So always get somebody, I always say at least a SSC or higher, to be on the phone for that third-party validation when you're talking about the business until you're comfortable.
And what do you guys, so you get the customer, they love the Shred program, which if anyone on the call hasn't done that program, it's amazing. I absolutely quit caffeine, absolutely. And I used to drink 5 cups of coffee a day. So for me, it was huge. So you get the customer, they're loving the program, they're getting a result. They're probably sharing that with friends or family anyway, because that's what we do as humans. Mm-hmm. Get them as a rep, and then what's the first thing that you do when you sign them as a rep? Like, where do you start that training? Do you start it with the marketing plan? Do you start the belief in the product? Or do you start with personal development and believing in themselves? Or a combination of each?
Yeah, it's a combination of each. It really depends on how much time they have and their circle. And what I typically do is I like to get them into action immediately. So I like to book their first Facebook Live shred. So we do a 30-minute, what it allows them to do is they learn how to do a Facebook Live right like immediately, which I love. And everyone's uncomfortable. There hasn't been one distributor that goes, "Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited." They're all freaking out. And I'm like, awesome. And I'm saying, this is great because this is where you're going to start to grow. Are you with me? Will you trust me? Okay. So trust me that you need to do this in order to keep on growing. If you're already freezing in this moment, you're probably not going to get past VF. And I'm just real with them. So all of my new ones have all done Facebook Live shreds. And it's been awesome because their growth happens in the first week. We book the date and I'm literally showing them by video, like a short little video on how to set it up themselves. I don't do any of the setup. So literally in the first week, they know how to set up their first event page. They know where to get the files. And then we set them up right away with a Facebook Live within the first 1 week. So a Facebook Live is I go on for the first 10 to 15 minutes, introduce myself, share my story, share what shred is, and then I introduce them, pardon me, and they get on right after me and do the same thing. They share their product story, like their shred story, because they've already done their shred. And then they say, I want you to join me. Come and join me. And then they get orders from it. And then that gives them the confidence. And then they want to do another one. And then they want to do another one. And then they want to do another one. And I say, we do as many of them until we get you to VF. And they actually run, and then I make them run their own shred program. So it's awesome. So they're running their own shred program. They do it once with me, and then after that, I cut them off. Cut. Yeah. You're on your own. I'll be behind the scenes. I'll be part of their group, and they'll tag me if there are questions in the group that they can't handle.
So earlier you touched on, like, you're answering every single note I wrote down. Like, I'm running out of material. I'm like racking my brain. But you touched on the importance of timing. And I think a lot of people that start our business, they feel like if they don't get here in 30 days, or they don't do this in 4 months or 6 months, then that's it and they give up. And I always tell them, like, this is like a forever thing. It's not like this job expires and you can't do it again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you spoke about earlier with timing and your mom, because we know that your mom did everything, right? Mm-hmm. And so this was just another thing. How do you, when you have somebody that comes to you and they're so discouraged with timing, whether they're a customer or a prospect or a rep, how do you just let them know that when they're ready, they can come to you? One of the challenges I have is people have put this pressure on themselves, like they have to get rich in like 30 days or they're not successful. And I struggle with just telling them, it's okay if in a year from now, if you want to do it in a year. So what would the conversation for you be around that?
I would first off, sometimes when people use the excuse timing, you have to be, I challenge them a little bit, because we all have the same amount of time, 24 hours. So what I do like to kind of ask some questions is to find out if there's some fears that are happening, and it might be the belief in themselves. And I would just ask them if they would be open to doing more of some self-development and belief in themselves. That's oftentimes where I find people fall short, is that they use timing as an excuse when the excuse is they're not willing to work on themselves. Because as we know, all excuses are equal, and timing is the same thing. I think timing for me, I didn't have a need, so there wasn't a need there. But let me tell you, the need for financial right now in people's lives is huge. So I would just say, start by asking the question, do you have a financial need right now? Like, could you use an extra $500 to $1,000? And if you could, what would that look like? How would that change your life? Mm-hmm. And then it's kind of like when you look at your schedule, Monday through Sunday, what is taking precedent and priority right now in your life that is not allowing you to get to where you want to go? And what can give? Just curious, is there anything that can give, right? When I look back at some of the things that I gave up to get to where I am today, I gave up TV.
Mhm.
I went to lay on the couch today for like 15 minutes. I can't even turn on the effing TV. There's so many buttons. I'm so embarrassed. I'm like a year and a bit, and I've got cable for the first time in like 8 years. And I know how to turn on 906 because that's a music station. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, universe, this is a sign that no, you just need to lay here in silence. You don't need any TV.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I use that as an example because we all have to give up something.
Yeah.
We have to give up something. Sometimes we have to give up some sleep. We heard Adam 2 weeks ago from Australia, who's like a 300 club. And he's still working to huge goals. He wants to buy his mom and his mother-in-law a house by cash. Hi, how are you? My daughter I haven't seen her all weekend.
My hair straightener's like that.
I'll be right there. I'm just about done. Okay, shut the door. Okay, love you too. Hair straighteners at Dad's. We're in dilemma. What was I going to say? So his thing, he was saying, you know, here I am at 300 Club, and he's going, I'm not getting comfortable. Yes, I make $110,000 a month, but I'm not stopping here. Yes, I've got a great life, and yes, I've got flex, but he goes, you always have to keep on upping your game and dreaming. So his dream now is to buy his mom, who's 60, a house because she's been a single mom all of her life, and to give her as much cash as she wants. And same with the mother-in-law. And he's like, was I up the other day at 5 a.m. doing a call from another country? Was I up till 11:30 at night doing another call from another country because I'm expanding internationally? Yeah. Do I have to do it? No. But it's a priority because I have a dream bigger than me. So anybody on this call, it's about, you know, we have to start somewhere. And he started somewhere with a dream to get out of his business. But now his dream is so much bigger, and he's still sacrificing and paying the price, even though his paycheck is $110,000 a month.
Yeah. Well,
right?
I think that's what sets the Adams apart from the people that have to put on TV at night, right? Like,
yeah,
but I mean, the sacrifice is so little compared to the reward, right? And it's
absolutely,
because TV never paid my mortgage. Right? So,
yeah.
So this is a really loaded question, but what makes Juice Plus different? And I mean the community, the product, and the business and the marketing plan. Because your mom had done a whole bunch of things. She came to you with another thing, and you were just like, yeah, whatever. But, and obviously the product we know helped you. But now that you've been in this company for as long as you have, I get the question a lot, well, how is it different than this? And how is it, you know, and I don't even compare because it's like apples to oranges or even apples to bananas. They don't even compare. But what for you makes Juice Plus different?
I would say the first is the product. I mean, for me, I wanted something that was simple. I wanted something that I could eat every day, that my kids could eat, that if I had my pregnant friends, they could eat. If I had my dad that was on 5 medications, I didn't have to freak out and look up different contraindications because he was on medication. So I like the safety around it. I like the quality around it. I like the research behind it. And then, you know, the Tower Gardens just sealed it for me 6 years ago. Like, it was just that they're truly walking the talk about helping people bridge the gap. And, you know, being a nutritionist and seeing the gap in my practice with clients of just the biggest gap I saw was fruit and veg consumption. So Juice Plus for me became just that perfect fit, that absolute perfect fit. And then I fell in love with the people. I mean, gosh, if you guys, you know, if you ever get to meet our VP of sales, Stephen Millman, I mean, I worked in corporate for over 10 years. I worked for Campbell Soup and Cabaret Beverages, and I've met a lot of corporate people, and a lot of them can be nasty. And you have no choice but to work with them and see them every day and go to meetings with them every day. And to see the quality of people that were with the Juice Plus company just blew my mind. Authentic, wanted to be here, They weren't forced to be here. They wanted to be here. So the culture was just huge for me. I love the marketing plan because we have a benefits plan. I love the fact that, I'm a single mom and my kids can get 100% dental coverage. And we've got, all the preventative tools that we have that gets covered every year. My benefits package with Juice Plus was better than Campbell's, which is a tier 1 company. Better than my ex-husband who worked for Smucker's Food. He only got 80% coverage. We get 100%. So that was huge for me, I would say. I love in our marketing plan that once you get to a position, you never lose it. And there was a few times in my Juice Plus career where life got in the way, where I stopped working because of moves or sickness, or, I lost a few family members along the way and they needed me. But and my volume dropped, but I always came back to that same position and never lost that financial piece of it, which was huge for me. And again, I just, that for me was just the type of culture that Juice Plus is, that they recognize and understand that life gets busy, and they flexed our marketing plan around that.
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. The boys are being loud. And you know what? I love that like you said, with the marketing plan, that was one of the things, because I was not interested in a business when I joined because my twins were only a year, but how flexible it was that I could raise them with it. I can do a call, your daughter's coming in, my boys are here. We don't have to be in suit and tie to do this business. So we only have about 8 or 9 minutes left. So I'm going to open up the lines if anyone has any questions. So if you do have a screaming child or a yelling child in the background, don't unmute your line. But twice a year, our company does what's called the Juice Plus Live, which is a conference-style conference. And people from all over the world come. What is the importance for you to have your team at a conference, and why should people be working their butts off and saving that bonus money to get there?
I think conference kind of locks and loads their vision. Maybe they go a little bit, they're still going in a little skeptical because there may be BFs or sales coordinators, and maybe their paycheck just isn't as big as they would like it or can even justify. But when they go to conference and they see for the first time the people, they pick up the energy, they truly get that sense of culture, and they get more quality time, I'm going to say, within the team environment. They just come back like a different person. They're just like, I get it now. I know you tried to explain it to me, Nicole, but you can never explain conference until you go and energetically get that conference hug, I guess you would call it. And then that just stays with you, because it's almost like, think of it when you first start as a rep, you're this like little seed, and you go out to the world and the wind starts to blow and you become weak. And conference starts to build your foundation. And all of a sudden you go to 2 conferences and 3 conferences and regionals and boot camps and start to, build a team. All of a sudden a few years goes by and you become this oak tree where the wind blows and you're still solid as a rock. And you can proudly put that Juice Plus t-shirt on and not worry about what the world says about that Juice Plus t-shirt on you.
Yeah.
So conference is all about building the oak tree.
I love that. I absolutely love that. It's funny. I made that image today. It says, like you're stopping yourself from greatness because of what other people think. And as far as I know, like TV, people's opinions don't pay my bills and have never. So it is hard in the beginning because that wind is blowing and it kind of is scary, but as long as you stick with the people that have already been there, and hey, like you were embarrassed to wear that Juice Plus t-shirt until you saw that one woman and you're like, oh my God, if she can wear it, I can wear it. So I just wanted to wrap up by thanking you so much. I'm going to unmute the line, so if anyone wants to ask Nicole a question or say thank you. And there's a great documentary on Netflix right now called In Defense of Food. And it's a journalist that really goes through what has been done to our food and the importance of a plant-based diet. And Stephen Ritz is in that documentary talking about growing with the Howard Garden. So definitely check that out on Netflix. See, I just basically multi-level marketed for Netflix, and I'm not getting paid for them. See how easy this business is? So I'm going to unmute the line. So if you guys want to ask any questions or say thank you, please do. Thank you so much, Nicole. I was nervous for this call. You're such a good idea.
You're welcome.
Does anyone have any questions or thank yous?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nicole.
Thanks, Nicole.
That was great.
You're welcome.
I love the Facebook Live shred party thing. I'm on it.
Yes, yes. It's power. You know what? Because people buy you, not what you do. So you can talk all day long about Food Plus, but until they hear a story and get to know you as a person, it doesn't matter, because we always go with people that we love and trust and have a relationship with, and that's exactly what the Facebook Lives do.
Yeah, and you know what's so great about them too is I'm going to admit I'm lazy, and to try to show somebody how to download 18 Facebook slides and put them in this file and then download the texting. I did that a couple times, and I just about went like this and went, oh my gosh, I have to do it easier. So then all of a sudden I'm like, why don't we just do Facebook Lives? And it took 5 minutes to teach. They understood it, and it's easy to do.
Brilliant.
So do you just invite people the same way you would to a regular Facebook party?
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
All right.
Easy.
I can do that.
Okay.
You can do it. So easy. Duplicate that over and over again. Hi, boy. You're so cute.
All right, guys. We'll have
I do.
Sorry, do we have a question?
I do. Just a quick one. What advice would you give to reps to motivate downline that have stopped working without being pushy?
Yeah, I mean, you go back and have a conversation with them. So when I sign up a new rep, this is a training I do with a new rep. So you told me your goal. You're willing to work. You're going to give me 5 hours a week. If I stop hearing from you, what permission do you give me to follow up with you?
Okay.
So if I'm calling you, it's because you've given me permission to say, Nicole, I need a little kick in the butt. So train your team to have open, authentic, real conversations with people. This is their life.
Yeah.
This could change their life. So trust me, I'm working on that every month with distributors that don't work. And I just check in with them. I check in. I said, hey, Deanne, I haven't seen you bringing in any new volume. You haven't shown up any events. Just following up. Is everything okay with you?
Okay. Awesome.
It's a concern call. That's it. I haven't heard from you. I'm concerned. Are you okay?
And when you do have a person like that, Nicole, what typically is their response? Oh, I've just been busy. Do they give excuses? And how do you handle those?
I mean, they're all so different. Oh my gosh. So one last, just gosh, 2 weeks ago, it was like, I just started a new job. I've been traveling. My kid's been sick. I'm still in the game. I'm still sharing. Can we set up a team meeting with you next week? And can we do my first live spread that you've been telling me to do? So in that particular case, it was perfect. And next week I've got 2 events with her.
Awesome.
Yeah, so you just needed a nudge.
But we didn't do anything for a month. So I mean, I always have my list. Like, I've got this whiteboard on my desk. And so every month when I kind of refocus, I go, who are the reps that I need to reach out to that I never heard from? And it's part of my DMO in the month. I'm going to, check on these 20 reps this month. I'm just going to love on them. I'm going to leave a message and just find out where they're at. And maybe out of 20, there'll be 2 that will get back in the game.
Thank you so much. We have less than 30 seconds, so I'm going to say goodbye before we get cut off. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.
Bye.
Nicole, that was great.